Hi guys, and we are going to make our way into a tabletop position. So we're going to land in all fours to start out our yoga asana practice, pushing both of our hands, especially this L shape on both hands. You really want to press that part into the ground along with all of your fingertips, your knees into the ground, the top shoelace part of your foot into the ground, a nice long neutral spine. And on an inhale, we are going to go into cow pose. So big inhale, stick our bottom in the air, our nose up in the air, arch our spine, and on the exhale, let's round into cat pose. Rounding our back, dropping our tailbone, tucking our chin. Inhale, back to cow. Feel those hands and feet pull towards the middle of the mat. And on the exhale, round your spine, push the top of your feet and your hands towards the top and the bottom of the mat. One last one. Inhale, cow. And exhale into cat pose. Great job. And we're going to lift our right hand in the air, and we're going to tuck our right shoulder underneath our left, keeping our bottom in the air. We'll put our right ear on the ground. You can use this left hand to kind of push a little bit, trying to keep our hips square, and just feel the shoulder opening and a little bit of a twist. On your next inhale, let's rise, lift that arm back up, and exhale back to all fours. Inhale our left arm up to the sky, and exhale, thread the needle right through your right hand. Your left ear goes to the ground. I like to use this other hand, my right hand right now, to kind of push away while I'm trying to keep my hips nice and straight. Feel that shoulder opening, and at the same time, a little bit of twist. And inhale, back up to the sky, and exhale, back to all fours. Let's take a big inhale. And exhale, make your way into a downward facing dog. You can take a moment here to kind of pedal it out, walk your dog, whatever kind of movements feel good to you right now. And we're gonna inhale our right leg high up to the sky, keeping our hips nice and square. And on the exhale, knee to your nose with a nice rounded spine. Inhale, back up to the sky. And we're going to exhale and step in between our feet. On the inhale, let's rise up into a crescent lunge. I'll turn forward so everybody can see what's happening here and do a crescent lunge. And on the exhale, let's move into a warrior two. Your front toes towards the front of your mat. Your left toes are facing the side, maybe a little bit towards the top, a little bit in. Nice strong arms. You want to feel your heels pulling in towards one another. We're really working those inner legs. On an inhale, let's exalt our warrior. And on an exhale, back into warrior two. One more time, let's exalt. And exhale into a side angle pose. So we can put our arm right on our front leg and lift that left arm way up to the sky. Looking up towards your left fingertips. One more big inhale, and on the exhale, let's drop our arm over our left ear. Feel your heart opening up to the sky. One more last inhale. And exhale back into a warrior two. Now we're going to take our toes and turn them both. Take our right toes and turn them so that both of our toes are facing the side wall or the front of your mat. I'll turn this way. And we're going to go into a gorilla stretch, a nice wide-legged stretch. Put your hands on your hips. Big inhale, nice tall spine. And on the exhale, fold over your legs. Let your head drop heavy. If you can touch your mat, if you're up to here, wherever you can. You might want to bend your knees a little bit. The more you bend your knees, even if we're not super flexible, the more you're going to feel it and really feel the back of your hamstrings opening up. And just drop your head here. We're going to take two nice breaths together. One more inhale, nice long spine, and exhale, just let it all go. On the inhale, let's come back up. And this time we are going to take our left toes and turn them to the front of the mat. Our right toes into a crescent lunge. Back into crescent here. And on the exhale, let's move into a warrior two on the opposite side. Feel those heels pulling in towards one another. You're lifting out of your chest, looking over your left fingertips. Your arms are nice and strong. Feel those back muscles holding them up. On an inhale, let's exalt, reverse our warrior. And on an exhale, back to warrior two. Let's inhale, exalt the warrior. And exhale, back into a strong warrior two position. And we're going to drop down into extended side angle. Lift the right arm up to the sky. Feel your chest and your heart starting to open up. Looking up at your top fingertips. One more inhale, and exhale. Let's bring our right hand over our right ear. Really feel that stretch on the right side of your body. Still looking up, opening that heart. Big inhale, and exhale, back up into a warrior two position. Again, we're going to turn our feet to the front. We're going to heel toe our feet together. Being that we've been talking about mindful bodies and having a nice tall posture, we're going to do a few balancing poses here, which really take a lot of effort for us to be mindful. So let's start with an eagle pose. This is a fun one. We're going to lift both arms up into the sky. Cross our right arm underneath our left and clasp your hands in front of your nose. If this doesn't work, right arm underneath your left and you can grab onto both shoulders. If we're a little bit tight in the shoulders, this sometimes can be an easier place to start. So now that we've got our hands all ready, we're going to sit ourselves down into a chair pose. Lift that right leg nice and high and wrap it around. It's fine to wrap wherever it wraps. It may wrap over once, or you might be able to get it all the way around your calf, kind of that second time. Want to stay in a nice seated position, pushing our bottoms towards the back of the mat. At the same time, lifting our shoulders way up so our hands are in front of our nose. Takes a lot of balance and a lot of concentration. We want to breathe through this. Doing any of these postures without our breath just doesn't make any sense. On the next inhale, both arms to the sky. Our right arm, our right knee up to a 90-degree angle. And we're gonna go forward into a toppling tree. I'm gonna turn sideways so that you can see me. And we're just gonna make our way, kick our right foot back. I'm doing nice, slow, and mindful movements to get here. Nice, tall spine. I wanna feel those arms right next to my body. Kicking that foot back. And on an inhale, we'll come back up and into Tadasana. Both feet on the ground, hands right next to us. Okay, are we ready for the left side? Inhale, both arms to the sky. Left arm underneath the right. Whichever position feels best for you, hands clasped or grabbing onto your shoulders. We're going to lift our left leg up in a nice seated position and go ahead and wrap that left leg over your right. Again, we want to be nice and seated, arms up, feeling our chest, but getting us rising, but our bums as low as we can get them. One more deep breath in. And on the exhale, let's come on up. Inhale, both arms to the sky. This time I'm going to turn this way. And on the exhale, let's make our way into toppling tree pose. Great job, guys. This takes a lot of mindful body positioning and really, really being mindful of every movement that you make and how you make them. One more last breath here. And exhale. On the inhale, let's rise back up. But me turning both hands to the sky, knee up, and back into Tadasana pose. Great job, guys. These are some really, really hard poses to do. But I know that you're doing a great job in practicing them, and being as mindful as you can with your breathing will make such a big difference. One more pose before we go down to our backs. Let's do a regular tree pose. We've already done the harder one, toppling tree. So we're going to take our right foot, can either be right on our calf, you can take your hands and move it up inside of your leg to your upper thigh, either above or below the knee, whatever feels comfortable. We're going to bring our hands to our heart. Take a deep breath in, and you want to feel a nice tall spine. Our feet are rooted into the earth like a tree. And it feels as if somebody's pulling a string from the top of our head up into the sky. And maybe we're feeling really wobbly today, and that's okay. Sometimes it's windy and wobbly out there. If you'd like, you can take your hands and move into any position that feels good. It can be a moving tree. It can be just a really tall, thin tree. Any kind of tree that makes you feel good. We'll bring our hands back to our heart. And on the exhale, back into mountain pose. Both feet securely grounded into the ground. On an inhale, let's lift up our left foot. And again, we can put it here. You can use your hand if you need to move it a little further up your leg. And we'll start with our hands at our heart. But now that we know what we're doing, go ahead and move you could be a continuously moving tree. Sometimes I like to interlace my fingers behind my back and get really tall, knowing that I'm puffing up my heart, opening it up, sending out all that love into the world. One more deep breath here. And on the exhale, let's move our hands back to our heart center. Big inhale. And exhale, back into Tadasana pose. Great job, guys. And now we are going to rise our hands up to the sky. I'll turn to the side so it's easier to see. And on the exhale, we're gonna fold over our legs. On an inhale, let's get a nice tall spine. And on an exhale, let's make our way back into a downward facing dog. We're gonna lift our knees, or lift our heels, bend our knees, and either walk to the top of the mat, or you can jump to the top of the mat. We're gonna do a halfway lift. And on the exhale, let's fold down, and we are gonna try a really tough balancing pose called crow pose. I think it's gonna be easiest for you guys to see me from the side. We're gonna have our toes together with our knees right by our elbows here. Our hands firmly planted into the ground. We're gonna raise our knees up, kind of our bottom up in the air, and put our knees right into our armpits, right on the top of our arms. And you can either just stay here, you can work with lifting one foot at a time, or if you're feeling really brave, you want to look our eyes a little bit in front of us and lift up both of our feet at the same time. And this is a tricky one, and this may take some time and some practice, but it is definitely going to take some really, really mindful bodies to be able to practice that one. So that can be one we can work on. All right, once we are done with that, we are going to go ahead and make our way onto our backs. And once we get down onto our backs, let's bring our knees into our chest. Kind of put one hand on each knee and just wiggle around, or you can squeeze them both in together. Whatever feels good right now. We're going to do a little bit of a hip opener. So we're going to put both legs onto the ground. We're going to take our left leg and cross it like a number 4 shape. So our left ankle is right over our right thigh. We're going to lift up our right thigh, and keeping both of our feet flexed, you can, if you're feeling this in the outside of your hips, this is good enough to stay. Otherwise, you could try interlacing your hands behind your right thigh and kind of pulling your thigh towards you, at the same time pressing this 4 to the wall behind you. Sometimes I like to use one hand on my right thigh, my left hand on my left knee, and push with my left hand and pull with my right. So it feels like I should be pulling my legs all over the place, but they stay nice and sturdy and still. Take another deep breath in. One last breath in, and on the exhale, bring your right foot down, your left foot down. Let's take our knees and kind of windshield wiper your knees back and forth. And switch sides. We're going to take our right foot over our left thigh. I'm going to flex that foot, lift that right or left leg into the air, flexing that foot. And again, this could be enough for you, keeping your hands on the ground and really just trying to isometrically move those legs. Otherwise, grab under this leg and pull towards you. Or I like a little bit deeper where I'm pulling this leg and I'm pushing my right knee. I really feel that in the outside of my hips. You don't want to do anything that's painful, but if you're feeling a little sensation of tightness with every breath in, take a deep breath, and on the exhale, feel as if that breath is just breaking up some of that tightness and loosening up your hips for you. One more deep breath in. And on the exhale, left leg down, right leg down. Great job. Now we're going to do a bridge pose. So we want our heels pretty close to our bottoms. So if you can move them in a little bit. And our legs and hips and feet are going to be hip width apart. So no real wide legs here. We want them to be kind of all right in line. So it's a nice straight line. Our hands can go right down next to us, palms to the mat. And we're just going to lift our hips up. If you're feeling pretty open and you think you can roll your shoulders underneath you, you can roll your shoulders under and lift your hips a little bit higher. We want to make sure that our big toes and our entire big toe side of the foot is pressing into the ground just as much as our pinky side. With every inhale, we feel that spine growing longer, and on the exhale, push it up a little bit more. One more big inhale, and exhale. Let's lower back to the ground. Great job, guys. Let's take our feet together. Let our legs kind of fall open like a butterfly. You can kind of just flutter them. If it feels better for your knees to be together, you can also do that. Great job, guys. Now we're going to make our way into a happy baby before our final spinal twist. We're going to grab the outsides of both of our feet. And we want to feel as if we're pulling our knees down to the mat, but at the same time pushing your feet up to the ceiling. And if you'd like, you can straighten out one leg at a time. If you can do both legs, that's great, but you want to make sure you're pulling down, but at the same time pushing your heels up to the ceiling. Really stretch it out. One last inhale, and on the exhale, let's bring our legs down. Bring your right knee into your chest, give it a little squeeze. And on the exhale, let's fold over our left leg. We're going to reach our right arm out to the side, look to the right, and do a nice little spinal twist here. One last inhale, and exhale back to center, both legs out. Let's bring our left leg into our chest on an inhale, and on an exhale, go ahead and fold it over your right leg. You can move your hips a little bit to the left, reach that left arm out to the side, and look to the left as much as you can. And feel that gentle spinal twist. If it feels better for you to bend both of your legs kind of in together, I like to keep one of mine out a little bit. And really reach with that left hand and your left gaze, gazing over to the left. One more last inhale, and on an exhale, roll back on your back, straighten out both legs, We're gonna take a moment, we're gonna do a little octopus. So we're gonna lift both of our arms and both of our legs up in the air. And I want you just to be a wiggly octopus. I mean, maybe you're a fast-moving octopus. Maybe it feels good to just really stretch it out and be the slowest moving octopus there is. Get every last little wiggle and jiggle out. Take one big inhale. And on the exhale, let's land in Shavasana, or corpse pose. This can be one of the hardest positions that we do. Because once you land, your heels kind of in towards one another, your toes out to the side, make your arms nice and big. Take up your entire mat space or blanket or whatever you're using. We're going to take a big breath in through our nose and out through our mouth. Let it go. Let's do one more of those. Big breath in and let it all go. Just return to normal breathing. Let's be very mindful and pay attention to any sensations your body's feeling. Anything that you're thinking about, just acknowledge it, let it go, and just relax deep into your mat with an extra mindful body and a mindful mind. Since we're at home, you can stay as long as you'd like in this position. But when you're ready, we're going to kind of start wiggling our fingers, wiggling our toes a little bit. Maybe you want a big stretch over your head, nice long legs, whatever feels good. And let's mindfully make our way into a seated position. A nice mindful body, nice tall spine. Our hands to our heart. Thank you for practicing with me today. The light in me sees and honors the light in each and every one of you. Namaste.